What's up? What's up? It's your boy Cam Meekins. This is the Cam Meekins Show. I don't even know what episode we're on, but we're on the second episode of the in-person studio. I got my guy, Coach Matt Mazarei, in the building. Coach, what's going on?
Man, Cam, thank you. Honored to have you, come over here and speak my mind and speak life, and can't ask for anything more. Honored.
Dude, glad to have you. We just got back from the Lakers Game 4, which not too good for LeBron and the Lakers, but fun game to watch, man.
Oh, incredible fun atmosphere. You don't get to watch, especially lately in the world, and especially a playoff game. So, pretty incredible.
It was kind of crazy, man, being back there. So we were laughing because they had the whole left side of the stadium all vaccinated people, and the right side was probably, 20% full or 15% full or something like that?
Left side looked like a Kiss concert. The right side was ridiculous. It was one person every probably row.
Yeah, it was not a lot of people. But I think the side that we were on with the vaccinated people was the side that they were filming. So they were giving the illusion that it was like a full crowd.
Ooh,
But
I love it.
It's got to be, as a player, a former player, now coach, like, how much does the crowd really play into it, you think, like, for those guys in the playoffs especially? Like, you think they're stoked?
In reality, yes. Home court advantage is definitely pretty awesome to have a crowd yelling your name, have a crowd, lift you up when bad things happen, especially positive crowds. But so it's definitely an advantage having home court. And for them to feel that, especially during a pandemic for a year and now kind of slowly and gradually unfurling things, it probably was very awesome for them to be in that atmosphere. And I know they feel disappointed letting the fans down, having them at Staples. And Phoenix played an incredible game and tied up the series 2-2.
Yeah,
goes back to the desert. It's very exciting. Playoff basketball.
Yeah, playoff basketball is back right now, man.
The juices were running.
Yeah, it's feeling different.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I was in Florida the last week on vacation. First vacation we took in a long time, and fucking awesome, dude, to get a little time off.
Florida, which city in Florida?
We were over in Tampa area.
Beautiful.
And dude, super beautiful Gulf Coast, or what, Gulf of Mexico, not Gulf Coast.
Near the equator,
Yeah, dude.
Warm,
humid as fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was similar with it was just in Cabo previously, so very similar.
Yeah.
Definitely humid.
And when we flew there, I watched the first 4 episodes of The Last Dance, Michael Jordan documentary, and then on the flight back yesterday, watched basically the rest of them. I have the one last episode left. But I just been kind of that's why I'm still, all these podcast episodes just happen at like the perfect time because I'm talking to a basketball guy now, and like my headspace has just been basketball the last week. And I grew up playing basketball. I love basketball.
We met playing basketball.
Yeah, exactly. But watching that documentary, I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, when you see guys like MJ and Brady and dudes that are just solely focused on one thing, I feel like, it's just like, for me, it's like the most inspiring shit, man. Because I think all of us struggle with like balancing our life,
Absolutely.
And these dudes who are just solely focused on like another championship, it's just like the ultimate inspiration. I think that's what we gravitate towards in those stories, because they figured out the discipline to just be so focused on one goal. Like, how many of us can say that we're really truly focused on like one goal? And not everybody wants that, but I think to be great at one thing, you do have to be like all in on it, and that's like the hardest thing.
Absolutely, they're modern day superheroes,
right?
So, like LeBron, for example, and all those names you just said, the Gretzky's of the world, Tigers of the world, okay, Muhammad Ali's, they are all modern day, superheroes in person. So that inspiration, that kind of goal of wow, they've, especially from their upbringings, not all of them had a promising upbringing, and so they beat the odds and obviously proved to the world that anyone can do it, and that's the number one thing right now. Yeah. Anyone can do it across the globe.
Right.
And so with that being said, these modern day Avengers, as I like to call them, we need more of them. We need more inspiration. We need more more of them that are for good, and it seems like it is going that way. It does seem like our names that we just did label
Yeah.
are awesome people, and they help the community, and not only the community around the globe, and they try to do good, and that's the main goal.
Well, and it seems like now, because I was watching that documentary, and in the 90s, it was just like such a massive thing, the Bulls in the 90s.
It was,
and MJ was, he was probably the most famous person in the world for, a good 5 years there, if not more.
He
right?
He was majestic.
Yeah. And we don't really have like one figure like that anymore in sports. We kind of have like, a little bit more.
I completely agree
of
with
a
you.
balance,
That
which is cool, Yeah.
During The Last Dance, that you kind of, the nostalgic
Yeah.
feel of, oh, this guy just flying and gliding, and, the way he did it, his swag and
Right.
demeanor. And, man, we're all witnesses. There's always, like you said, it's very rare. Dude, the dude's the GOAT.
Well, that's kind of that's how I felt today when we were watching LeBron, because, I've seen LeBron play. Me and Blaine, Blaine.
Yes.
Went to the 2015 NBA Finals in Cleveland, and we saw LeBron play in the finals. And I've seen LeBron play the Celtics a couple times and shit like that. But when you watch LeBron, like, you're watching like an MJ level dude. Like, this is we're witnessing history in real time. And 20 years from now, we're gonna be able to say, yeah, like, we saw freaking LeBron play. But yeah, I've noticed that the Jordan.
The gravitational pull.
Yeah, like that. It's almost like
I think
society's
Tiger,
not. Yeah,
I think
Tiger's
Tiger
like that.
had it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Jordan had it during the 90s, but
I think what it is though is like the mystery of that kind of shit is no longer there. So it's not possible for someone to get to godlike status anymore. Like,
because everything's seen.
Well, everyone's kind of like a little bit more in the know, right?
Yeah.
And all these people
Social
are on social media, which is a good thing. I think these are good things.
Up-to-date current events.
We're, at the end of the day, like, we're humanizing everything a little bit more. And that was one of the things that they talked about in The Last Dance, was like the mental toll that it took on MJ, because he was held to this high standards, like, be like Mike, and once it became be like Mike, then that became Mike's a role model. So then when people started saying, oh, well, he's gambling or, whatever, it's like they just started to try and take shots to bring him down because he was a role model. And whenever you're on top like that, that's what people are trying to do. And
try to find anything and everything.
Right. And it's all bullshit. Like, you should still be like Mike, regardless of any of that shit that ever, people were like, talking about. But, yeah, man, it's just, and maybe that's because we're in the moment right now, so we feel that way. But it just seems like that era of like the MJ-like figure is not completely translatable to this era, but we're seeing it amongst a lot of guys now, which is super dope.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to ask, present day league right now, obviously if there's hypothetically no injuries and everyone's healthy, I think the NBA is the best it's ever been.
Yeah. No, I think so too.
The skill-wise, how efficiently people are scoring, how many people are averaging over 25 points a game in 2020, 2021 season, it is incredible. But what I really want to say is that aura of Jordan, and like you saw the documentary Last Dance, so you watched the Dream Team documentary as well?
Yeah, that was good.
And before that aura, in the 80s, I mean, I had three older brothers, three generational brothers, all born, two of them in the 80s, one in the 70s, and they made me watch, Showtime Lakers and Larry
Pistons.
Bird, and you from Boston, and obviously Larry Bird, and Larry Legend, and Bad Boys, Pistons. And though, like that, dude, Magic and Larry had that aura. I really feel when I watched even as a baby, like 3 years old in 92 or something, I could feel Larry Legend and Magic Johnson's aura. That's who they were, that good. And then I was so fortunate to grow up kind of, with a cognitive skill to comprehend how godly MJ was.
Yeah.
Like at 4 or 5, 6 years old, and oh my God, he said in Dream Team documentary, took the keys from him.
Yeah,
became the sheriff.
Right. Yeah, that was what was crazy. See, when he came to the Dream Team, it was like, okay, he's the guy.
He's the man.
Like, and MJ and Larry Magic and Larry paved the way there, and then they were like, okay.
Then there's unbelievable greats earlier. You see that recent video on Will Chamberlain just sprinting like Usain Bolt?
No, I haven't seen that. Oh yeah, no, I did see that on Instagram
man.
the other day.
Even though, I mean, I don't know, it was in the 60s, 70s,
Yeah, right.
early 70s, but it was like a gazelle.
Dude, it's crazy.
It was super fast.
Well, what's interesting now too is like, people are perfecting
Everything.
their game, which is like, a lot of what you do too as a coach, right? It's like
Details.
the details of like perfecting your game. And so it's such a fun game to watch right now because it's getting played at like the highest level possible. Because it's really like
a lot of players of these generations want to get better.
Right.
I mean, in the past, yeah, but now there's a lot more people like me, I guess, around and wanting to help and wanting to train and wanting to, perfect someone's game and the player's game to their highest capabilities. So it's awesome.
So walk me through your story a little bit. Obviously, you played growing up, and so walk me through the whole story of you as a player, then transitioning to a coach, and
I'll try to keep it short, because it's a long one. Obviously, a lot of years in the basketball world, as literally when I can open my eyes or can remember my whole family. I have 3 older brothers. My dad, mom, everyone would have our entire cousins, family over, and everyone would be in purple and gold, the entire family, and I had no idea. And as soon as I can read and really realize, like, I remember Byron Scott was the first person. James Worthy was kind of the first people I can kind of mimic, like see in a blurry eye and have in a flashback. And all I know was basketball. Born into a basketball family, from cousins to older brothers to my parents. And everyone in our family grew up worshiping basketball. Sunday, we were at the gym. We were at tournaments, this city, that city, this state, that state, and learning how to become men at a young age, overcoming adversity, playing all types of characters from all types of areas. And it really made my brothers and I mature at such a young age, because it was put up or shut up at the places we would play.
Right. And how old were you at this point? Like,
man, young. I remember the first league was a Mighty Mites league. I was 4.5 years old. Okay, and Dad put me in like a 5U league, and my brother Amir is 4 years older. He was in an 8U league, and then Adam's 2 years 10U, and then my older brother played like 2 years Mike in 7th and 8th grade, and then he became a graphics designer and artist. So he gave up the sport pretty early. But Adam and Amir, my 7-year and 4-year-old. 7 years and 4 years older than me, they really paved the path and kind of showed me basketball can take you to a lot of places. And our parents would dedicate their time right after work and drive us 3 to 4 times a week, 30 minutes to an hour, literally, to locations where we can get coached, a lot better than our local area. And our local area had good basketball, but it was more rec and more like daddy ball and more of like a bubble of, made my brother and I actually fast forward want to make our area known in the basketball world a lot more.
Yeah.
But going back in time with the upbringing, literally going to Pepperdine camps as a kid and getting integrated into a club program, a club AAU program when I was 5. And I would play, here and there with the rec team and kind of local teams and friends from my school, but the main priority and main commitment was our club team. And we were based at San Fernando Valley, and each practice was like 40 minutes away. And we would go 3 times a week, and we had this coach, Daryl McDonald. Okay, he's still coaching, coaches the Cavs, and they're a very prestigious program, utmost respect. They brought up all of my brothers since my brother Adam was in 8th grade, my brother Amir was in 6th, and I was in 2nd grade. And so really taught us how to be tough, how to get what's it's not going to be given to us. No entitlement, leadership, dedication, commitment. All that stuff taught us the way of life, and it wasn't just on the court. It was very, very more importantly in life and these tools. So we lived by that code. We always dreamed of, man, if we had our own program, And going into high school, obviously things change. Things don't stay pretty all the time. And obviously great ones adjust. And my brother ended up starting King's Basketball Academy in 2006 at age 22, 23 years old. And he just finished playing with my other brother, Amir Mazarei, at University of Redlands. It's a Division III school, very 30 minutes west of Palm Springs, and beautiful, beautiful, like little pocket, right? And they led the country in scoring, like
wow.
with team wise with 134 or 135.4 points a game one year. And my brother Amir led the country in scoring for Division III, like 29.3 points a game. It was wild. And then Adam in 2013 led the country in assist to turnover ratio with like a 5-to-1 ratio, which is, shows his IQ and obviously his capability on the court to adjust and decision make. So after all that being said, I was still in high school as a sophomore, and then I became a junior, and my brother really kind of realized I was getting overlooked. I was a lot more skilled than what was being displayed, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna start a program. Like, you get a team, get all the local like all-stars, and let's do this. So in 2007, 2008, called some cats around. Its main friend, I just actually talked to him recently, Dave Buchanan, became U of A's team manager in basketball. He was a stud, like one of Moorpark High School's best players of all time. And he called, he's like, yeah, I'm in, like right away. He got another guy, Tyler McGrath. He ended up playing at UCSD, extremely, really good player. And we formed this awesome team. And we ended up going to Palm Springs, San Diego, local tournaments, and we're balling. And my brother's teaching us, how we always wanted to be a coach, because he was young and he was just a player that kind of retired and started this program, and we upstarted it. And then he got the youngins. He got an 8U, 9U, 10U kids, and those kids now are about juniors and seniors in college. If you flash forward, and the three very notable names are like Hiei Clark from Virginia, who just won a national championship, number 0.
Hell yeah.
Riley Patton, University of Utah, and Wes Slackert, he's at Dartmouth University. And then the crop before that, or right after, some younger brothers, Clark Slackert's at University of Pennsylvania, and then we have Yassine Grahams at Yale. The list just keeps going. Hopefully no one gets offended if I just forgot, but there's so many players that came through the program that my brother started in 2006 kind of for me. And on my thankfulness and everything for him is
well, yeah, that's pretty crazy that
crazy.
It started as a thing where he just saw one thing with you.
He tried to get me exposed.
Yeah, right. And then it can turn into something even greater. That's what's so cool about, just being in motion like that. Yeah. When you start a program like that, you don't necessarily know when you're starting it, it's going to turn into this thing 10 years from now.
Became the family business.
Right.
And so all this goes on. I end up getting a scholarship and going to Colorado and playing a Division II school called Fort Lewis College in Durango. I go with my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, Megan, and
shout out to Megan.
Shout out to Megan, love you. And she went with me from obviously hometown here. She's from Santa Barbara, and then we both moved to Durango and spent my junior year and senior year there.
Did she go to school there too?
Yeah,
nice.
Got in, and it was awesome. Time of our lives, made some of our best friends till this day, and got to live the dream. Played an NCAA tournament in Division II, got knocked down in the second round, but ended up doing what my brother did and led the country in assist to turnover ratio as well in 2000. I was in 2013.
What position were you playing?
Point guard. And Adam was 2005, I believe. So, man, it was just a cool thing to kind of replicate what he did and follow his footsteps and all that stuff, where every offseason I would help coach. And so I would get really familiar with all the players that were kind of going through the program at that time, all those generations. We had these three brothers called the Hausers, Mike Hauser, Matt Hauser, and Josh Hauser, who I used to babysit when they were 8, 10, and 12. And they all play college high-level basketball, and now Matt's working for me as learning the ropes, learning everything about, AAU basketball and directing and running teams and all that good stuff and training. So it's all a full circle. It's really cool. And what propelled me to take over the program was my brother getting an offer to the Memphis Grizzlies to become player development coach, and kind of, his dream's always to be in the league at the highest level, coaching at the highest level, and he did it. It was incredible, and he goes, you gotta take over. And
take the reins.
This was right after my senior season. Had a great season, just got knocked down in the second round, and had 3 offers to play in Japan, Iran, and in the Philippines.
Wow.
And they're all pro offers, all promising, peer DMs every day. Told them about my wife, and she would come with me and all this stuff. Everyone was very cooperative and interested and wanting to sign. And my brother goes, you can, my dream was to play. And he goes, you can do that or in another, foreign country, or you can do something that's a career starter and it's not injury prone. And that really got to me because
Well, and you're still involved in the game every day.
exactly, and I was doing something we love.
Yeah.
And I was very familiar with the kids as well, and I had a huge connection to them. And so the transition of, me taking over the program and going smoothly was inevitable. And that's the route we took, and my wife was super happy. She's like, we're going back to California, all this good stuff. And then we started expanding. Adam, I inherited Adam's incredible teams, 8th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade teams. And we ended up going a year to 2 years. My main coach, right-hand man, Stephen Anthony, helping me out, obviously helps me out with training all the time. Coach Santino, De Jesus, all of them, Ryan Rubino, all those guys are family. Okay, and so they all helped throughout the process and entrusted me to partner up with Open Gym Premier, OGP, which is owned by Matt Kane, which is Rob Pelinka's godson. They are very connected with Landmark Agency, who used to be Kobe Bryant and James Harden, Andre Iguodala, and Russell Westbrook usually trains through that facility up in Anaheim. And I saw how cool they are and how acquainted we were, and our friendship was very genuine. And we made a partnership back in 2017. So we became the OGP Kings, Open Gym Premier Kings. They run very, very 5-star tournaments, nationally renowned, up and down the coast, East Coast, elite basketball.
So OGP is a national thing, or what? Or
it's expanding to be national. But they hold national tournaments in Anaheim, where it's basically the hub where everyone congregates and plays each other from out of state. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And highest grade competition they have ranking systems. Now they have a passport system where it basically keeps everyone's stats, percentages, highlights, short films. It's really cool. Yeah. It's the future. And so we partnered up in 2017. It's been great ever since. It's been for about 4 years, and we've been running, expanding. My mom and wife Megan did a lot behind the scenes with obviously collections and website booking, email scheduling. God bless them. And so my whole idea was to kind of retire them too and not have them worry or have a burden. And so I partnered up with OGP, where they give me an incredible manager.
They can hire handle all the back end.
All the administrative back end. And so now my whole worry was just coaching and training. So I can solely focus on training extra, not only just coaching club during our 3 days a week practices for 2 hours. Now I can actually expand and make this a full-time career.
Yeah. Well, what's cool about what you're doing, obviously, we met through Carl and became friends for the last few years now. And like, whether it's training NBA guys or it's working with the kids, what you're doing is about community. Absolutely. And that's what I think is so cool because, and you said, like, I grew up in Thousand Oaks. I've been there, this whole time. Yeah. And what you're doing is building up that community and that basketball 100%. Program in that area.
That was the goal.
Right? And then the extended community to the professional guys and these guys. And it's not like some transactional thing. It's all meaningful relationships and everyone just working and, playing sports and getting better, and you're building up this, actual geographic community in your area, but also your network as well. And you're doing it in this very authentic way.
Appreciate that, man.
And so, like, that's what I've seen with your, with everything you're doing. And hearing that story, it all makes so much sense because it stems from when your brother extended a hand out to get that program started with the intention of trying to help you, and then it turning into this huge thing. And so it's really an incredible story.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No, it's super cool.
There's been a lot. It takes always, they say, it takes a village, and there's been a lot of really good people around my community, and very fortunate. I'm super fortunate for what opportunities came into fruition. I'm never like, oh, they all gravitated towards me because of me. Obviously be nice, be always nice, have a really good aura, and don't do it with the intent to get something back. If you're going to be nice, it's just to be nice. And when you are that genuinely nice, it's going to come back. When you are that genuinely cool and helpful, it's going to come back at the most meaningful times. And when it comes back, that's why you do it. And that's why you continuously do it in a cycle until, you pass. And hopefully you pass that along to your children, you pass that along to your kid. And the coolest thing with this community is I wouldn't be where I was if those people weren't doing what I'm doing. If those people didn't let me in the door, didn't let me, kind of see their life or their, a little glimpse of them. And so I thank them 100%. I thank my brother, family. Incredible. It's been an incredible journey thus far, and it's literally just the beginning. I'm not even 32 yet, I think.
Long way to go. Yeah. I hear that, man.
I feel like I'm 15.
We got a long way to go.
We got a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always have this term, tell the parents, tell the players, it's not about 10 minutes from now.
Yeah.
It's not about 10 years from now.
Right.
It's hopefully 100 years from now. Okay. They just came out of a study, 150 years.
Let's go, man. Like what, life expectancy?
We have the capability of the human body.
How old do you think that barring tragic events, people our age will live till, if they keep control, or keep good care of their bodies?
Exactly. They just came out with a study. I don't know how, accurate this study and article is, but they said the human body's capacity with what we have, the technology, how we can eat with diet-wise, would be 150 years old. That's what our that's how far we can really take it with modern medicine and lifestyle choices. By like 105 and on, our bodies are just decay.
Yeah, right.
So we can sustain probably, but it's
not a good quality of life beyond that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I always wondered with the life expectancy shit, because when you're 80, 90, 100, in rare circumstances, like your body is just taking a toll. Gravity has taken a toll on you. That's what it is. Not a lot of people know that. When your face, it's like that when you're old, it's literally gravity pulling your face down. That's why you look like a skeleton in your face when you're like 100 years old, because it's just a matter of that's how much time gravity has had to pull the skin down on your face.
That's incredible.
And, so when I think about the life expectancy thing, I always wonder that. I'm like, what's the quality of life like? Like, can 80 be the new 50 in that circumstance, or no? Like, can you feel that good at 80, or do you still feel 80, but you just have another 40 years of that to go? Dude, or 50 years of that to go. And it's like, man, that's a long time to be feeling old.
In all honesty, like 30 years ago, like technology's rapid growth has been insane. So like 30 years ago was what? 1990. Right.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
So 1990 was still VHSs. Beta just was, out big time, and then VHSs are making their run. DVDs didn't come out until what, 95, 96 or something?
Probably like late 90s.
Even 98, 99. So now look what's happening. Look at tablets. Look at the technology of touchscreen, holographic type stuff. In just 30 years, look at the cars. Look at the speed of these new things. All these, UFOs. These UFOs ain't fucking aliens. There's different species.
You think we did it? The UFOs? Or?
No, they're all UFO unidentified objects that we're seeing and shit. It's man-made. It's fucking man-made.
You think it's Earth? It's 100%. Something here.
It's man-made.
You think it's like U.S. technology that's like not secret,
even,
or
it's just technology, it's private sector. It's just crazy.
Like it might be
shit.
Facebook or Amazon. That's a real theory that I definitely think could be possible. It's like it's Facebook secretly.
I'm not knocking off we're the only fucking species in the world.
Yeah,
I'm saying that there are
stuff we're seeing with the UFOs.
Trillions. There are probably trillions, but everyone's so far. Everyone's so far from each other.
Right. Well, the thing is, too, is to get that far advanced without a catastrophic thing happening to your society is almost impossible, Yeah. And I entertain the UFO thing all the time. We talked about it last episode that I had with my boy Carter. But, what I came to the conclusion with on that 60 Minutes thing is that it's either our technology or China's or maybe Russia's, or
I think they're just freaking drones.
Yeah, or they're just drones, or it's like Facebook or Jeff Bezos, or like Elon Musk doing some weird shit.
Spherical drones.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. I'm not even trying to be like conspiracy theorist right now. Yeah, but
because if it was like a super lightweight drone with some like really good propulsion system, it could probably travel that fast.
All I'm saying, if a civilized, very intelligent, species, alien life force, let us see them, like no.
Yeah, you don't think that they'd be kind of teasing us like in the way that they did? Well, and
something would already happen.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about
that's the biggest thing. Something would already happen.
Yeah, and in the 70s and 80s, there were all these reports, about people kind of saying that they had seen things. And okay, well, do you have a picture? No. Do you have a video of it? No. Nowadays, everybody's got a phone. right? And this is what Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying the other day. It's like, so if you see something, you're just gonna put it on Instagram right away or whatever. How come we haven't seen that?
Yeah.
Right. So it is, those arguments are very compelling, but then this is the whole interesting, part of this conversation about the UFOs, UAPs now they're calling them. It's like, why do they got to change it?
Underwater, right?
Yeah, right. But like, this is the whole interesting thing. It's like, you think about it and you're like, well, it just doesn't make sense. Couldn't be possible. But then you're also like, but what the fuck was that thing though?
What if?
Because what was it?
Well,
like, but yeah, maybe it is Facebook or.
I just think it would have already happened. It's just like all these conspiracies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Well, the one that's pretty interesting though is the Wuhan lab leak conspiracy that turned out to probably not be a conspiracy.
Yeah, it still could.
Well, this is the thing about conspiracy theories. Every once in a while, one of them is true. And so the crazy people that get behind conspiracy theories feel vindicated.
100%.
And then they think that all of it's true just because one of it's true.
One out of 10 is overly failed.
Just because Alex Jones was saying, Jeffrey Epstein, or like, people have been, in the conspiracy theory world, people have been talking about for like 2 decades, this elite guy who was flying around the Clintons and all the famous, politicians and celebrities on this jet to take them to, be with underage girls. And it turned out that it was true. Jeffrey Epstein really was doing that shit. And because that one thing was true, all of a sudden people think, all of the stuff is true that people are talking about. And that's not how it works. Something can be true. A conspiracy theory can end up being true, but that doesn't mean that all of them are.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I just don't know, man. I don't know what that fucking
stay
thing
away.
was.
Just stay away. I don't know. If it was really harmful, it would already have done us dirty.
Yeah, that's what I think too. That's what I think. I don't even know how we got on this subject, but
I know.
Somehow this podcast just always comes back to UFOs,
aliens, green guys.
I don't know, but I don't know what it would do to us. Like I think it would kind of be like a society-ending event if it turned out that it was aliens, because people would freak out so much that like. Would
it though?
I don't know. What do you think would happen? Like, let's say
I wish it would be some
Biden
Men in Black,
out.
Men in Black type issue, not issue, but Men in Black type order.
Right.
Like we have a compromise. You guys are the alien party.
Yeah.
But
that's just, that's so far from what the majority of people are willing to accept.
Everyone needs to watch Futurama.
Yeah, right. Well, I think if we could all exist and, coincide like that and be like cordial, then I think it would work. But what I worry about is like the people that just can't wrap their heads around that idea.
I really, truly feel like it was an alien type feel when Columbus met the Native Americans.
Well, but to that point, that didn't work out very well for the Native Americans.
No, it absolutely didn't. Okay, but that's only one aspect. How about the entirety of the human race?
Yeah.
Everyone's running into each other.
I hope that if aliens were real and they came here, that we could all just kind of
be
responsible about it. I just worry that not a majority of the world is like, open to that idea. They'd be freaked out, and then it would just cause just panic, and then it would just cause like civil unrest. If they were that
intelligent, I would hope they would be able to like solve hunger and be able to eat healthy, and only create healthy foods, and then reharness clean energy and all that stuff. It's actually helping the planet for its billions of years.
Well, that's what I was saying to Carter too. Is just like if they were looking at us, they'd be seeing us and say, oh well, they're just getting started. They're still burning fossil, they're still using horrible energy sources. They haven't done anything, next level yet.
Exactly.
We're still doing like the path of least resistance stuff.
You ever see that video? I don't know what outlet it was from, but basically it was like 5 different levels of civilization, societies around the universe.
I think I'm familiar with the concept, maybe, but just give it to me.
Basically, like we're level 1,
right,
of civilization of intelligence, and a level 2 would be able to harness the energy from their solar star, their solar system star, And then a level 3 would be able to harness an entire galaxy. And then level 4 would be able to harness energy.
Beyond their galaxy?
Would be multiple galaxies.
Right.
And it's just like a Dyson sphere, for example, would be a level like 2 from a local star and all that stuff. And that theory is, it has some sense to some building blocks to it.
Absolutely.
And I think the time wise, like no one even knows if it's 13.5 billion years ago that the Big Bang happened.
Yeah.
It's not even like no one has a for sure, answer to that. So it could be just keep going. It could just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, no, the more we find out about stuff, the more we understand we don't know anything. And the more we get to the idea of like some sort of almost like spiritual, universal being.
Interstellar, baby.
Like we can conceptually understand the math behind the Big Bang and physics and how we think the universe works from what we can observe. But then there's all the stuff that we can't observe. Mm-hmm. And the weird anomalies that happen that we don't understand can be possible, like, Schrodinger's cat and, shit like that, where something can be two places at the same time.
Wow.
Like they've proved that is possible, but they don't know why. It's like, well, what the fuck is that?
What's going on?
Right.
Dark matter.
Yeah, right. And so, like, the more we learn about this stuff, the more there's just so many different possibilities for this. And,
I hope we just live to, see the day.
We'll see something interesting maybe. But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I just think that it'd be really hard to be a society that could get that far, where you could really travel that far and have technology to go to another galaxy, right? Because we know that this, if it was a UFO, this life form's not in our galaxy.
No.
So to be able to travel intergalactically, I just think, like, wouldn't that place have gotten hit by a meteor by now? Well, maybe if they're so smart, then they could have dealt with that.
Yeah.
I guess. But wouldn't they have gotten hit by a meteor before they were smart enough to deal with it? And so it's just like, fuck, man, you could just go and go and go in your head.
I have a lot of, you can go on forever, but think about all the civilizations, even intelligent civilizations,
right,
have been brought up and birthed and then extinct.
Right.
Throughout the timeline.
Right.
Of all species. It's unreal.
It's a circle of life, kind of, right?
It's unreal,
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hopefully we'll find out. I think we're like 30 days away from this report on the UAPs. So I might have to bring you back on, do a UFO special.
Please.
Me, you, Carter from Hair, fucking.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get Multiple Pete's in here. We'll get weird. Multiple Pete's thinks that the UFO thing is all a lie, and because it's all Navy people that are saying, like, oh, we saw this weird thing, look at this footage.
Yep.
He thinks that it's just government propaganda to spend more money on the military. Like, it's all fake.
Well, that's an incredible theory as well. I mean, Multiple
Could
Pete's is onto something, in my opinion. Smart guy.
He is a smart guy.
Taj Mallory.
So bringing it back to the basketball thing, you like that transition there? So how does the club basketball dynamic, how does that work? So you have your club team and you organize with other clubs and other groups to play tournaments, essentially, and it's through a national organization? Or
the great thing about Open Gym Premier is they're one of the premier tournament hosts.
Got it.
So they're able to host with their facilities like 200 to 300 teams and congregate teams from out of state, in-state, and get really respected programs so the tournaments run smoothly. They have different divisions, gold, silver, bronze. Everyone's placed into divisions where it's equal matchups. Sometimes, there's some teams that are new that don't know the type of level and division yet. But other than that, it's very smooth and run to a T, and it's been respected over the past decade. It's been a great, teamwork and transition partnership we've had. And so we have 2 practices to 3 practices a week. We offer extra training, private training on off days and days even before and after practice. And then we do 2 tournaments a month. So that would be 2 full weekends per month. And some teams will play up to 5 to 8 games a weekend.
Damn.
So it depends on how much they're winning. If they continue to win
right,
and go up the bracket, tree branch play, and They may end up playing 4 games, 5 games, and then win a championship at 7. Sometimes it's really rare it's at 8, but it just
So back when I was growing up, which was a long time ago now.
We're getting old.
I was playing AAU ball for a little bit on the East Coast, and there was always the talk of, AAU versus high school, which is, AAU's too offense focused. There's no defense, it's like, bad for your game. Like you always hear, people chirping about stuff like that.
There's a majority.
Are people still talking like that? Or
everyone is always talking, just like your same fans that say the NBA sucks.
Right.
Just like the same fans and people.
Everyone's always got an opinion.
Everyone's, I guess, Hubie Brown or freaking, what's Luke Walton's dad's name? Bill Walton.
Oh, Bill Walton.
I guess everyone has their opinion, right? Has their day. But no, that talk's still out there. It's going to be out there for millennia in every sport. The craziest thing now is club basketball and high school basketball. Like, there's some coaches and like me that really, really care. And that's the main thing. You care about development. You care about the player individually getting better as a person, as a player, and skills that he was not good at. You hone them. You go back to your respected high school. That's our program's motto. We're going to hopefully get you exposed if you deserve to get exposed. We're not going to throw you fool's gold. I'm very blunt. I'm very honest. I'm not going to sell you a pipe dream where, hey, your son's, LeBron. Your son's going to get a full Division I scholarship.
Yeah, right.
It's very rare to play college basketball. The percentage to play Division III, NAIA, D1, D2 is extremely rare. And so parents can't fathom that. A lot of parents and guardians think their kin is literally a superstar, a superhero. So it's very difficult to be blunt. It's very difficult to be honest and upfront. And that's our motto too, is like, maybe your son or daughter can play Division III. And that would be a very, very big accomplishment. It's nothing to be negative about and all this stuff. And so many parents are blinded by Division I or bust. And then we have produced many Division I players that end up transferring back, that go back to junior college and then going back to a Division II, that go to NAIA, and they have so much of a more role and better time at those transfers of schools after their so-called dream. And we always want to prevent that so-called waste of years, waste of life.
Because you get into a program and you don't play.
You know you're going to ride the pine.
You're a practice player or some shit.
Some divisions are next level, and we've seen it. We've seen every division between my brothers and I. We've really seen it all. And so we can really gauge the talent. We can gauge your leadership, your work ethic, your body language. All that is into account. If you're not having a top 10 in all those categories, like, you're not going to make it. And even if you did make it, it's because you have some God-given gift, and then that's only going to take you so far as well.
Yeah.
And so because there's 500
work
players,
ethic and everything else.
There's 500 players in the NBA that are with 50 players transferring from the G League in a cycle that all have that God-given talent. Right. So it's about who has that more work ethic edge, who really hones in their perfection, who works on their game on time off. And everything is into account. So we try not to really say, hey, we're going to get you a scholarship. We say we can get you exposed in front of coaches in this type of division, in this conference. We try to help them see what career they want to do early in life, and basically what career and majors they want to pursue, and schools in that region where they're really good at that and high level and known. We would try to get them in and talk to their coaches and say, hey, this is his highlight tape, her highlight tape, and can you use it point guard, shooting guard, etc., small forward, power forward, center. And we really, really care about helping that player individually to the point where you're like, is there a difference between club ball and high school ball? The biggest thing between the difference, I mean, if you're really, really good, Cam, you're going to get looked at in high school.
Yeah, right. They'll find you one way or another find you. If you're that
They're going
to
find you no matter what. So if you're dropping 51 game, 41 game, 30, triple-double, and really putting it up efficiently and your team's winning, they're coming to you.
Right.
I mean, we had plenty of coaches come to my high school games and from 06, 07, 08. So I know how it feels. I know how it is. And I had more coaches come watch me in my high school than I had in AAU, which is crazy. And then you can go to one gym in AAU and play in front of 30 coaches. But those 30 coaches are there for one player probably.
Yeah, right. They're not there to see you. That's
so Yeah, you can get exposed, and hopefully they can do a John Morant. Look at John Morant, barely got looked at. Barely got a scholarship to Murray State. Look what that motherfucker's doing right now. He's not a motherfucker.
Right.
Motherfucker's a beast.
Yeah.
He's incredible. That dude scored more than 100 points in his first 3 games in the playoffs. That's higher. That's like only 3 people have ever done that.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane.
The dude's a stud. And so for him to barely get looked at, and he was on Zion's club team growing up, like 7th, 8th grade, that's crazy, right?
Well, and all those guys are probably there.
And people can't fathom 500 people
Right.
in the league. That percentage is so it's so small. So tiny. And people can't fathom that their child isn't that they've spent all this money on club basketball or all this stuff. And it's not really about getting that scholarship, and hopefully it is. Hopefully they do. At the end of the day, I really hope they get a scholarship or a grant, anything to help their education.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is I get texts and direct messages, daily from alumni, ex-players. And they each say, Coach, like all of the traits, leadership, collaboration, encouragement, all of the traits that you made us work at, adversity, coming right back, learning from losses and wising up from wins, always being humble and not, basically not being an asshole, just being a good person.
Yeah.
And they DM me and text me on a daily basis, ex-players from generations, about how they're so far ahead of their peers at Apple, at Microsoft, at all these companies, Fortune 500, at it's so gratifying and so heartwarming that we know we're doing it right. My colleagues and coaches, that whatever we're spewing at them, whatever tools you're handing them, they're taking advantage of it and really getting a leg up on these new generations. Because a lot of these new generations don't know how to give hair on their boy's chest, or they don't know how to let their daughters become women and live on their own. And so it's all about entitlement. It's a lot of entitlement right now.
Yeah, totally.
And our program's built on the complete opposite. And especially in our area, it's very wealthy. Our area is extremely a bubble of wealth.
Well, it's hard sometimes to teach a wealthy, privileged kid discipline and work ethic and teach them that, nothing is, just going to be given to you because they've been given shit their whole life.
The greatest thing, that's why we have closed door practices.
Right.
We have 0 parents. You can't look at your parent to have a cop out or your guardian. If you made a turnover, a mistake, you can't look at them and raise your hands and, feel like vindicated. And it's all about taking accountability. And the moment you're able to take accountability at a young age and then overcome that adversity, hone it, figure it out, because there's a solution to every problem. When you really figure it out, there's always going to be a solution to every problem. And if you get that at a young age, they're going to be an Apple exec at age 24.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. I got to imagine there's studies out there that show kids that have been in sports in a team environment that have it gives you
look down
a
the
lot
line,
more
VPs, regional managers, all that. So they probably were a high level athlete.
Well, because it just gives you that discipline, gives you accountability. It literally gives you the path of doing something physically strenuous for your body. Mm-hmm. So then you get on that path of continuing to work out your whole life, which is an incredibly important thing for anyone's well-being and mental health and anything else. And so it's not just the prospect of, can I get into school or can I get a scholarship or whatever? It's all of this stuff that goes into it that creates value for a kid when you're playing a team sport or playing any sport. And
with accountability, when held to.
Yeah, when you have a coach.
Yes, when you have a real coach that cares.
It's important to
always
have those relationships in your life.
We say we care about development, not only just on the court, most importantly, most imperatively off the court. If you're able to develop off the court and be a leader and be someone to be able to work with at a positive rate and be a beacon of something, of hope, you did it. You're doing something right.
Well, there's so many examples of, kind of real life situations that happen in sports, so right? Like in basketball, you're, getting into it with somebody and you guys are going back and forth, or, there's extreme emotions there, or frustration or tensions. And then that game's over and you got to put that aside. Mm-hmm. And that's a life lesson. There's a million examples of that in life. Sometimes you got to deal with people that, you got some shit going on, and then you got to, suck it up, work together, whatever. And so there's just so many examples of, why
endless
sports are really just imperative for like a kid's development, and how like 10, 20 years down the road, that makes a difference.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's interesting because I played basketball my whole life, played a couple other sports, and so I think I kind of took that for granted. I was just always in that headspace of, being on a team and working out, and it makes you work for something too.
Yes.
Off season, you're like, fuck,
work ethic.
I got this, new season coming up. I want to be in shape.
Goals.
When I get there. I don't want my,
goals.
I want to impress my coach. You probably have a lot of kids that care about what you think, and that motivates them to go to the gym when they're off.
You nailed it right there. Is as a coach, your goal. My motto, of course, my opinion on this subject is, as a coach, if you can get your players to fear of letting you down because they love you so much, that's when you're doing it.
Yeah.
When they feel so bad because they're like, they respect you that much, not because they're scared of you, but it's respect. And when you have really touched that type of, area in their soul, they're gonna take that. They're gonna take that for eternity, and they're gonna hopefully spread it. And this is why we try to make, our mottos and what we're saying. It's not just brainwashing or whatever. It's something. It's a goal. It's something to strive for. It's something to live for, because it's only gonna help. And that's the main biggest thing. It's helping without even overly trying to help. It's just being a good person.
100%. And, you were talking about how kind of there's a lot of entitlement now too, right? The discipline aspect of
big
it
time.
Is like the most important thing in the world. And
Etiquette
anyone who's like saying that it's not is just off.
Well, they're in another level. They're in a level below. There's Mortal Kombat. They're below Goro, bro. Okay? Because literally it doesn't make sense. It's time, etiquette, all that stuff goes a long way. It's very meaningful.
And it's just there's nothing better as a kid to being held accountable by and it could be a lot of different situations, but let's say if we're talking sports, right? You have this coach who's, freaking on your ass, right? And a super, just intense dude, and you are being held accountable at a really high level, right? And then you perform, and there might be a little something that you get from that person, that coach,
respect,
a pound or a handshake, or, just something that shows that guy's like, okay, I appreciate that you're stepping it up.
That transfer of energy.
And that feeling that you get, and this happens when you're an adult, whatever. So that feeling that you get is like one of the best feelings, and really like important feelings to have. And so when you don't have that discipline, and you get into this kind of conversation that people are having now, where it's like, you got to be easier on the kids, or you got,
they're naive.
But it's like, no, but life is not all easy all the time. You have to learn how to be, kind of getting called out for shit, and then overcome that through your hard work, and then, reap the benefits of that. Back. And then it's a cycle.
It goes back to the guardians. It goes back to parents, man. They need to raise, like me, for example, we have 3 kids, 3 boys. And I'm like to my wife, we're not going to give them anything unearned.
Yeah.
Okay. Even how cute they are, how loving they are, how manipulative they are. They've got to really realize how grateful they need to be. How grateful they have it, more than 7.9 billion people. And they need to hone that energy into expanding it into a chain reaction of positivity. They need to really be like, wow, this is people are starving right now. Before every meal, if everyone has that thought process, if a majority of the country and the world has that thought process of putting themselves in other people's shoes, that's the biggest thing, living their life for 10 seconds, living their life for 10 minutes. Okay. Oh my God, the perspective and feeling and compassion that energy would light up Earth. And it's so incredible that people only put themselves in their own shoes their entire life. They never, ever tried someone else's, even their significant others. Their wives, their husbands, okay, their kids never put themselves in their shoes. And that's the biggest thing. That's why I get along with basically everyone I've ever encountered, unless that person refuses. Unless the person refuses to let me in their shoes, unless the person refuses, okay, I'm sorry, you got to work out your own issues until you do let me. But everyone I meet, I put my perspective, I try to see it their way and work with it and adapt to it. And that's the biggest thing is everyone would be nicer.
Where do you think that came from for you? That's something you've always been doing as a kid?
Brothers, yeah. I always looked up to my 3 older brothers. So I would be.
So it came from that.
It came from that kind of feel of putting myself in their generations and learning from their mistakes, learning from their awards, learning from every aspect they would live.
Are you the youngest?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
So it definitely helped big time.
Yeah. Well, you're right, because you get like.
I mean, I fucked up though. I fucked up in my life.
Well, who doesn't?
Exactly. Everyone
who doesn't?
has.
But like when you're a younger sibling, you get the benefit of seeing the stages of life right before you.
It's incredible.
And you're like, I'm gonna do it a little different, you know.
Little tinker here and
or
there.
I'm gonna do that shit too. That looks fun. You know. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about your fucking health and fitness vibe that you got going on, because all right. So anyone watching this podcast, we're an hour in. If you're still here, check out Matt's Instagram. I'll tag him in this post. And watch the shit that this dude is doing in the gym. I mean, it is fucking insane, dude. Like, you're like a freaking monkey in there, bro. On the handlebars.
Thank you. I respect that. I strive to be a silverback gorilla.
You basically are, dude. This dude is pulling himself up on the pull-up bar and then doing like, backflips and shit.
Not so circus, oriented, but no, some circus stuff, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie. Working out, stepped it up a notch ever since my kids have been born. It gives me more of an edge to like be a mentor to them, be a role model.
So why do you do it? Is it just for that, or it's
for right
like,
now? Yeah, and then health wise, and I've always been a health freak. Obviously, a high competitive, high level basketball player. And the moment I started playing competitively, I went to training. I would still train the way I would train for basketball. So literally have never stopped since for 10 years now, I think. Yes. We're running on 10 years in a row, a decade where I have not stopped training and working out like I'm getting ready for an off-season training.
That must feel good.
It feels great. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life every day.
Even if the season doesn't exist in reality, to train for it, I feel like you can just mentally get there.
I'm pushing. I always have a goal to push for.
Right.
So then I always set goals too with every workout, number wise, countdown wise. I'm like, I'm gonna do 10 reps, 9 reps, 8 reps, countdown all the way to 1 rep, and then I'm gonna do 5 sets of 20, and really push myself. Next week, 5 sets of 25, 5 sets of 30, and test myself, and constantly setting goals in different muscle parts. It's endless. It's endless what you can improve on eating habits, fitness habits. You can't perfect it, but you can perfect a system.
So what's your system? Are you on like a 5 group a week?
5 days I work out basically, and thank goodness and
different muscle groups each day, or are you doing full body every day? Full body about 9 out of 10 times, and thank goodness for my work. I'm always on my feet, demonstrating, training, going from team to team. I'm not just sitting down constantly and staying in place and stationary. So that really helps and is benefits me greatly with staying in shape. Yeah, man, I'm 5 days a week working out. Health eating wise, I'll go 4 days to 3 days. So I'll have 4 days of extreme healthy salads, peanut butter, brain food, anything that fish, overload on a lot of brain food is the best. Good
Nuts,
fats and shit.
I know you've been telling me recently that you've been hitting up walnuts and
yeah, man.
Good. I mean, anything that's beneficial, and then smoothies, green drinks. Green drinks are great. And then the 3 days I do indulge. I mean, I have kids. We do take, my wife and I, we go out and eat dinner, and we love dessert. Like, we're not going to lie. We're not.
Well, I like that 4 and 3 though, because it's just much more attainable.
The full 5 days though of working out is like high intensity too.
Yeah, right. So you have the calories to spare.
Exactly.
There, Yeah. And so when you hit those workouts, like what's an average workout for you? Like, you know, in terms of like the stuff that you're doing, is it heavy weight, like low rep?
I'll mix and match.
Low weight, high rep?
I'll definitely mix and match. The main source is high rep, low weight. Like to, you know, get high fast twitch, muscle fibers, ripping up, kind of get the Bruce Lee feel. Certain things.
So you're not taking a break. You're fucking just going.
Going. If my body part, like my triceps or shoulders are pretty broad and you know, kind of in the place I like it, I'm going to go low weight, high rep, just, you know, sharpen them up. And then if, say, my chest wasn't looking what I wanted to be, or, you know, my thighs, hamstrings, calves, then I'm going to overload those. So I'll try to max out, you know, see what I can max out on, and then do a number that's reasonable to the max. And I'll try to do 3 sets and work my way up. And once those are improving, probably 2 weeks in, I was like, all right. And I'm still maintaining everything else, shoulders and triceps and core.
Got you. Yeah, so the big weight stuff is only if you're just trying to kind of put something on.
Exactly.
In a certain muscle group, and then you just...
So like right now, like our boy Chucky has incredible thighs, right? Hamstrings, dude's play catcher, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's always...
Dude's yoked up.
He's yoked. He's squatting, and I'm like, I need your fucking tree trunks, bro. And he's like, I need your core. And I go, man, so I want to get his tree trunks, but I still want to maintain the core. And that's like becoming a fucking action figure.
So is that what it is? Like when you're trying to do the heavier weight shit, you're sacrificing the core because you got to eat more?
No, you don't even sacrifice. It's just you got to work more.
Yeah.
You got to put in a lot more high intensity into that region. So if you want to, you know, boost up your thighs and hammies, yeah,
so
you're
then
eating
you just
more.
don't have the time to necessarily
exactly.
get
You got to make
abs.
time.
Yeah, right.
You got to make time and you know, adjust. Great ones adjust, as my college coach always said.
Yeah. How much time are you spending on core versus
I try to
anything
incorporate
else?
core during every rest period that a normal person would do. So right after a tricep lift or shoulder lift or bicep lift, I'm incorporating a core workout, either planks, raise of legs, scissors, X's, up downs, keeping your thighs, knees capped straight as possible. And then calf raises, weighted calf raises, weighted tippy toe, kettlebells, squats, you name it.
Then those are your in-between workouts.
And those are the in-between sets of monster sets. That's what I like to call.
Gotcha.
Super monster sets are just like where I'm just in the zone.
And what about cardio? Are you getting your cardio from the fact that you're just
playing
going all the way? Yeah.
Play basketball, or we do trail runs. So I did this past year, September 1st, all the way to actually right now this past weekend. Friday was our last day. I did Holdbacks Academy, where kids were who had a COVID, you know, mishaps, were younger, needed to stay back a year and get stronger, learn the game, you know, develop more cognitive skills and on-court skills. And we had them since September 1st, had an incredible group, love them all, became really close family. And we would go on trail runs, we would go on sand dune runs, beach runs, and we would spend 6 to 8 hours a day, lunch, dinner. First 8 months, we had a chef who moved to Houston, got a job, Chef Alex was awesome, really, really healthy, organic type stuff, homemade sauces, really developed the kids. They got ripped, they got bigger, stronger, quicker, and it was an incredible year. So shout out to that. That was all behind the scenes as well. Lots of stuff. My working out kit, like you said, why do you do it earlier? For the kids. It's not only for my own kids, it's for the players. It's to really show the players.
Lead by example type
exactly,
thing.
Still got it.
Right.
And
keeping them fresh.
Exactly.
Keeping them on their toes.
Motherfuckers.
Just ready to run pickup at any time. Basketball shorts under the jeans.
Yeah, the other day I just had a couple Division I guys just come in and they're like, "Oh, what are they doing here? Are they training?" I said, "No, they're fucking playing."
Well, that is what it's got to be too. It's like when you're coaching, NBA guys, it's like, you got to be able to play too, right? Like, you got to be as in shape as those guys.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, it's like, why am I training
I feel
with
like
this
I can sign a 10-day right now.
Yeah.
Faku,
sign him up.
Fauci on Denver right now. He's like my height. He's a beast though. Motherfucker's a beast.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm so confident right now. I feel like I'm in prime. I got like 14 more months.
You are in your prime, dude. Listen, man, our prime is like 30s, 40s.
The new prime, it should be. They say
if we're living to 150, man, shit, the prime might be fucking 65.
I know this article said our middle age is 37. So I'm like, all right, we got like 5 years. You got like 7, right?
Yeah, something like that. I always say I'm in my early 20s till I'm 30. That's what I say.
Smart man.
Yeah, man. No, it's inspiring to talk to you because I think that, I've worked out with you a couple times and you're a maniac in there, dude.
I appreciate that.
And I love working out too. And I'm trying to get to that level, but some people just have it.
I attribute it to high level competitive,
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
Like, racing sprints against.
And are you a competitive guy in the gym too? Even if you're there by yourself, you're just
oh my God. I'm not going to
get 12.
I don't really
I'm
talk
gonna
to
get
anyone.
15.
Yeah. I compete against myself a lot. I mean, people look at me and stuff. I don't give a fuck. I'm just
Right.
going to do my own thing, tunnel
Right.
vision. And if I got 12 reps, I'm going to get 13.
Right.
I'm going to reach, if I didn't reach 20, got only 12, I'm going to do 8 more. Just give me a break. But always pushing, always striving. Tell myself I can't leave without doing something I told myself to do ever. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's inspiring shit, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
It's inspiring shit, man. This has been a good...
I'm trying to have this, my body frame until forever.
Let's go, man. Stay in that gym.
Yeah, I don't see myself I love the journey. Does that make sense?
Life's all about the journey.
I love the process. It's not, oh my God, people always say it's like, oh, dude, you got fucking genetics. Go fuck yourself, man. It ain't genetics. Okay, I wake up, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 at the fucking gym, beasting my ass off, sometimes for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And no one's in there. I'm not filmed 24/7, so they're not seeing the high intensity fucking transition work to work to work to work. And then then what happens with my wife and family and all of life's duties, and then after life's duties, the more training, the more practices, the high passion and intensity while coaching. People don't know. They got, hopefully they can see by putting themselves in my shoes. That's all they can do.
Yeah. I mean, I know firsthand. It's not the genetics, man. It's the fucking it's the work ethic. But yeah, when you wake up that early, I feel like you have so much more day.
You got multiple days. That's the whole motto.
Everyone else is living one day. You have 2 days.
You're getting an edge, bro.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, oh, dude, I did a 2 a day. I feel like I did a quadruple day. Because I'll do a 2 a day. I'll work out from 5 in the morning to 7, go get breakfast, whatever, and then go to another workout at 11. Okay, so that's a 2 a day already. And then I'm back at it 3 to 9 and have 2 workouts in between that.
What time are you going to bed?
I try to get to bed before 9:30.
Yeah.
9:45 at the latest.
Yeah. Nothing good happens after 10 o'clock.
No, obviously with the kids, they'll come running. Dogs will come.
But they go to bed early, right? So it's probably
Yeah,
you get that schedule.
You'll know when you have kin.
Yeah.
They'll be busting in.
Oh, yeah, I'm
chop
sure.
suey, judo chopping. Ah!
They just come in the middle of the night.
Yeah, they're getting better though.
Yeah.
They'll be staying in the room and stuff.
Right.
Now. But
Right.
So you live through some portions and some sequences in your life where you're just like, ah.
You feel like you can run off and not a lot of sleep because you just have gone through that with the kids, or like
Yeah, I always have.
you need
I'll tell you
6
why.
hours.
I'll
Like
tell
how
you
much do you need?
truthful geek fucking thing. Back in the day, age 11, 12, I would always go. I went to middle school, so I had new friends, and these guys were all in Counter-Strike. Remember Counter-Strike?
Mm-hmm.
PC game,
Video game,
back
yeah.
in the day, like late 90s, and it was an awesome FPS first-person shooter game. One of the originals, and I'd be fucking capping people, bro. It'd be so fun. It's called modern day Call of Duty, and basically we would all have like LAN parties. So we'd bring our computers or our consoles, and we'd all play together in the same room, and all this stuff would be a blast. Some of those guys are still my friends to this day.
Yeah.
And we would challenge each other, like whoever went to sleep's getting fucked up, getting marked, getting sharpied, getting messed up. We were kids, dude. It wasn't even like a drunken thing,
Yeah, right.
It was just like, hey,
Oh, kids love to do that when they're at sleepover, fucking
imagine
right on the
water,
face.
hand in water, flour in their face.
Hand in water, that's a myth. I mean, I have never seen that
You know what
ever
I would do? I would
successfully
just put
work.
water on their private area, so you piss yourself. Anywho, the worst one was like Hershey's. You put Hershey syrup just on their ass.
Oh shit.
Anywho,
man.
so we would have these challenges like who's staying up, some crazy, stupid
Yeah,
kid stuff. And so I felt like that prepped me just to stay up all the time. I mean, you've been with me.
Oh yeah.
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 Just running,
You're going.
going.
That's why we call him Mazarei.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Dude, it's been a fun time, man, chopping it up and hearing your story, man. I mean, really, again, I can't stress enough. When I listen to you talk about that whole process, it really makes me think about the community aspect of it. And so that's what, again, I think is so cool about what you do, just your approach to coaching, your life, and I love to see it, man. So no, it's been an honor to hear the story and talk to you about it and just kind of get your perspective on the game, the mentality of coaching, how important that is for all of us in our development. Mm-hmm. It's inspiring, man. It makes me want to go fucking shoot some hoops.
Man, I'm honored. I'm going to end on the last thing is, always put yourself in someone's shoes, like I was stressing earlier.
Yeah.
Always see their perspective. In coach's aspect, trainer's aspect, see their perspective, in a player's aspect. And then, man, just be cool. Be cool, nice, and keep doing that. Every time the sun comes up, just repeat it.
100%, man.
Appreciate you, Cam.
Well said. Appreciate you, brother. It's the Cam Meekins Show, my man, Matt Mazarei. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.